Friday Fitness on Tuesday. I have not vlogged in a minute. Setup's kind of different and everything. Right here, still have a cat though. Cat's tail. What I want to talk about today. Oh, I also want to acknowledge that I'm wearing a hoodie and no shirt. What I want to talk about though, I meant to do this a long time ago. So I did an experiment. And I'll acknowledge its limitations in a minute. But what the experiment was, I ran 15 kilometers in my Escalante Racers, my most minimal shoe. Right? The Escalante Racer is paper thin, weighs almost nothing, wide foot-shaped toe box. It is a minimalist shoe. It's still a shoe. It's not a true barefoot shoe, but it's the most minimal shoe I have. And then, 2 days later, so adequately rested and all that, I ran the same 15 kilometers in my 1080 V10s by New Balance. My most cushioned maximal shoe, and they're an 8 mil drop. And now, here's the thing. In the Escalante Racers, yes, my feet hurt at the end of it. My feet felt beat up. Even into the metatarsal bones. Like I felt some soreness. But I got home. I took it easy for the rest of the evening. I felt 90% better an hour later, 100% better the next morning. Right? Rested for a day, 2 days. Didn't try not to throw off the experiment. Again, I'll talk about how limited this is. But did it again in my max cushion shoes. Same kilometers. It had some, mostly sidewalks, but some trail, some rocks, some gravel, some dirt. Uphills, downhills. And yeah, at the end of that max shoe run, my feet felt fine, even felt good. A little while later though, over the course of the evening, started to feel this knee pain creeping in. Still felt it more the next day. And so this confirms one thing. For me personally, this reconfirms that yes, I can reliably create knee pain by wearing heeled shoes. I've done it in the past. Anytime I've felt knee pain creeping in, I always think, what shoe am I running in? Yes, it's got a pretty high heel, and that's that. Like that is a personal fact for me that I can be secure in. But also I think why people believe that they need max cushion shoes is that your mind is linking how you feel during and after the run to the shoe. And then if any kind of structural problem like your heel is causing knee pain kicks in later, you just don't make that connection. You think, oh, it must be I don't have enough cushion. I need a more cushion shoe because I have this soreness. You don't make the one-to-one connection that it's your shoe choice. So the limitations in this, like this is not a scientific experiment. This is a personal trial. Because I had no control group. I guess I do know how I feel when I'm not running. So that's sort of like a control group. But it was a study of one subject, me, and I ran in the heeled shoes after the minimal shoes. So even though I rested, there's no way of knowing if I still had any fatigue built up from the previous 15K. There's no way of, I didn't monitor my nutrition, but it's baseline. I eat the same things every day, but I didn't monitor it, so I can't say how much of a factor that is, and things like that. And I'm still like my guiding North Star when giving advice is if you're okay, you're okay. If you're running in a max cushion shoe and you're running the distances you want at the speed you want and you're pain free, then you're fine. Then you're not looking for advice and you're asking for advice. If you are asking for advice, though. This is the problem I ran into at work, and I still, even though I haven't worked in a month now, still find myself reliving the arguments. People would come into the store and be like, I'm really in pain. I need this. And it's like, what you're asking for is advice. So you're not running the distances you want at the speeds you want or pain-free. Like, you want to change something, but you don't want to change anything. You want a different result without any different choices in the system. Those people really bug me. And I guess they will always bug me because they live in my head now. It's been a month since I had to deal with any of them. But yeah, I think part of the problem is running in a minimalist shoe. Your feet feel sore right away. You can make that connection. You can feel that. Running in a heeled shoe and the pain kicking in later is much more subversive. It doesn't track a one-to-one connection. It's like, a really good example is food poisoning. You can eat tainted food in October and not build up enough bacteria to actually get sick until into November. But you will always just think you got sick from the last thing you ate. It might not actually be, right? Bacteria takes time to grow, and different toxins will activate your immune response at different times. I'm talking a bit of shit here, don't quote me too specifically. Cats are fighting. But yeah, like, you won't make the association. And I think the same thing, this is getting off track now, but I haven't spoken to a human in a minute. I think the same thing about choosing to reward yourself. No fighting. I think the same thing about choosing to reward yourself, and you shouldn't reward yourself with treats after a workout. So you go for a run, you feel great, you come home, you celebrate by having a soda or a beer or a Pop-Tart or whatever. Your body's full of endorphins and feel-good chemicals, and then you introduce another one, like a really sugary treat or something, or alcohol. You now wire that together. You don't wire in a love for running, you wire in a love for soda and beer and Pop-Tarts. So, yeah, the best possible overarching takeaway from this is think about how you wire together neurons and your brain's sense of cause and effect, whether it's like you notice that your feet feel beat up during a run when you wear a minimalist shoe. Take time to notice that your feet feel fine an hour later. Whereas if you feel fine during the run but feel terrible for the rest of the night, take note of that. And yeah, don't reward yourself with food. And if you get food poisoning, it might not be the most recent thing you ate. Friday Fitness.